Okay, I'm going to make this really quick short here about my channel here. I started to do this because I saw Gary from Nerdrotic make some great videos. And I thought that might be cool. And then I got caught into Jeremy Prime and Geeks and Gamers. And I thought, you know what, this actually does look like a lot of fun, except for I'm alone and I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm not doing this for money. I got a half a dozen subscribers, and I appreciate you guys. Because I've been saying don't like, don't share, don't subscribe, because I don't care, because I'm not doing this for likes and attention. I'm doing this because basically this right here. You're looking at my gravity equation I came up with like 2 decades ago or so. Working night shift. And this at the time was just, hey, gravity equals MDI divided by pi. And it's like, well, MDI for a machinist like me on night shift stands for manual data input. And my manual data input is actually mass times density times inertia divided by pi. Well, I'll get into that when I do gravity, because there's a hell of a lot more math than I even wanted to get into on this. So I'm above my head right now. Once I do some more research, I'll be fine. But what I wanted to do is touch on, I was talking to Scott on Nerdrotic's Sunday night podcast about the Drake equation. And let's talk about the Drake equation and why I want this theory to go out there. For the same amount of time, 20 years, I've been arguing the Drake equation is bullshit. Sorry, excuse my French. This is an idiotic formula right here. Carl Sagan and Drake in 1961 came up with, they pulled this out of their butts. This is totally fictitious. It's idiotic. And as you can see by the Seeger equation, it's already now, they're starting to catch up to me, and they're trying to redo it. But they've started out wrong, and it's so irritating. So this is just going to add a whole nother level to me trying to explain the Drake equation and why it's full of crap. And then moving on from the Drake equation, I'm going to explain why, if there is between 100 and 400 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy, why only a handful of them can support life. And I already did this on 100 billion or 150 billion. And I came up with 5 habitable planets in our Milky Way galaxy. And the math is there, and I've been arguing with people for years about this. Well, I'm going to explain why the math is there. And when I do this, I'm going to prove that where this cursor is, these 6 by 6 down here, this little area right here, is how many possible habitable stars are in the Milky Way galaxy out of 400 billion. This little section right here is all that is possibly habitable. I have the math to break down, but what irritates me is the Drake equation here. N equals R, I can't remember what the asterisk is. R times FP times NE times FL times FI times FC times L times ignorance and idiocracy. This is stupid. Then they come down here and they go number of red dwarfs in the detectable inhabited planets equals number of red dwarfs, quiet red dwarfs planets detectable. You're not going to find this because red dwarfs live to be trillions of years old, not billions but trillions. And red dwarfs, that means every red dwarf that's out right now is still a baby, which means it's volatile. And the habitable zone about a red dwarf is 1 week to 2 months. So basically they've never found a planet farther out than a 1 month rotation around a red dwarf planet, which is right in the zone where it's going to sterilize the planet with solar flares. And believe me, a red dwarf is a bitch of a planet to be stuck around. You're not going to like it. You think our sun has solar flares? It ain't nothing to a red dwarf. And they live trillions of years. So when they're coming over here and they're starting to talk about number of red dwarfs, I'm sorry, there's no life around a red dwarf. And I will come up with the information to prove that. And that shows that the Seeger equation is just full of crap. And this just irritates me because these guys get paid $100,000 a year or more to be an astrophysicist, and they're dumber than Neil Dumbass Tyson. These people are idiots, and I can prove this is idiocy. And they've already there have knocked the Drake equation out, which was in its infancy. So I digress here. I'm going to go and break through this and break this down. And I appreciate the handful of subscribers that have subscribed to the channel. When I get the rest of these, I've already got a couple of shorts to put together on this. This is going to be a long video. I don't know if I should break it down. Like I said, I'm new to this. But once I figure it out and I post it, then there's going to be information. You take it what you will. But I encourage you to do the research because I've been doing it for 20 years. And it's just ignorance that people think that there's life around a red dwarf. And now we're going to look for how many quiet red dwarfs are out there. Let me tell you something. None of them. There is not a red dwarf that has ever come to life that has even been close to fading away yet. Red dwarfs live 1 trillion years or more. And the whole universe is 13.6 billion years. That means every red dwarf is still a baby. And let me tell you something about these babies. They're not happy. Now, the other thing is, when you do the research on red dwarfs, you'll find when a galaxy has redshifted. That means the galaxy has been around so long, it kind of blows away the 13.6 billion year old theory of the Big Bang, which I've got a video to disprove the Big Bang coming up. That's going to be way down the road because everybody's going to hate that one. But I can refute the Big Bang too. In fact, there's already articles all over the internet. Go ahead and look them up. You'll find them. The Big Bang is a big grift. But back to the redshift of galaxies. When a galaxy redshifts, what that means is all the white stars, all the yellow stars, all the blue stars are gone. And the only thing that's left detectable in the galaxy are the red dwarfs. And when that happens, that's a dead galaxy. There is no life in that galaxy. If there was any life in that galaxy, it already moved on, came to Earth, built the pyramids, and left. And I'm sorry, but that's a fact, Jack. And I hope you stick with this because I've got these theories. And I got more proof that my theories are right than anybody's going to ever come up with that's wrong, other than, I don't like it. It's not right. So, you guys have a good night. Thank you very much for being here. And have a good rest of your week.